Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah, I got a notification.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. Heather here. And it is time for another Empowered Entrepreneurs with my accountability partner, Carissa Ortega, aka Just Kissa. And sorry for me being late. I just had I didn't sleep last night, basically. And then everything got pushed this morning. So I'm a little thrown off. But hey, I'm here. So, yeah. Carissa, what's up?
Hey, I'm just posting on social media right now. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Okay. Man. So
what's up?
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to post that really quick. But okay. Let me start by saying things are fine. I'm kind of in this place where you know that feeling when you're getting by, so it's fine, but you're just not content with that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's totally where I am right now. It's fine. It's okay, but I'm just having the hardest time with for one, getting my crap together because I am all over the place, and I've been letting it kind of marinate in my mind as to why I think that might be happening. And I think the last couple days, I just kind of realized that the reason is because I need to have a routine and a spelled out plan. Even if I don't follow that plan to the T, I just need to have a general overview of what the heck I'm doing. And I just haven't gotten myself to sit down, because that in itself takes time, right? You have to sit down and then kind of go, okay, what are all the things that I need to do? And then from those things, pick your top 3 and then create action steps. That takes so much time. And I just don't feel like doing it. And I think that's why I feel really I feel fine, but I feel almost dizzy in a sense, because I'm just running around in circles. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm still feeling well, what did I really do? Did I do anything that even moved me forward? And I don't feel like I'm moving forward. I'm just talking about things and I'm still standing still. So that kind of gets you to that point of discouragement, because you're like, God, I feel like I'm working so hard, which actually, when you look back in hindsight, I'm not working that hard, but you feel like you are in that moment. And then you're like, for what though? What am I working so hard for? Because I feel like nothing is happening. Nothing is moving. So I'm still kind of where we were talking about last week, where you're like, I feel like you're frustrated. I'm still the same way, but I think this week I just came to that realization where it doesn't matter if I'm motivated to be more organized or productive or not. If I want to see change, I just have to do it. So I'm having that internal conversation of it doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. You just have to, so that you can get to where you want to be. You have to. There's no choice anymore. Just do it, even if you don't feel like it, type of thing.
Yeah. I think both of us are kind of going through and have been going through this similar place of it just switches back between frustration and then motivation.
Yeah.
Because I think both of us are so eager to work hard. We're hard workers. That's just the type of people that we are. We're problem solvers. But I think we also both have a tendency to it's a mix of things. It's just like all of a sudden, we agree to a set of to-do lists or task items or goals or whatever, and there's just other stuff to do, and then we just drop the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel you, and I think that's a huge reason why we do these accountability meetings, is to kind of keep each other in check and stuff. But I do have to say that I think I feel good about the system that I'm going to take on. Like real good, real solid, like more than I ever have in this entire journey. It all comes back down to that book.
Yeah. I actually, I haven't, but because I started, what is this called? I like renewed or I signed up for a library card again, and using my library card to download like a bunch of audiobooks and ebooks and stuff like that. And that is on my queue, but it's all checked out. So I'm on the waiting list to read it. But I already have it in my queue because I even looked up in my notes what the title of the book was, just so I can make sure that it's in there, and then I can get an email when it's available. But I'm really excited to read it. I have like a bunch of, I know you said last week that you're not like a business book type of person, but gosh, I have so many that I think you would like, that are like really quick and easy, like reads that just kind of put things into perspective. But you talking about your like the system that you have set up, I think that's a cool thing to kind of talk about today, because I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
Kind of revamping workflow, not a lot, but because it's taken me so long to create like a workflow that works. But I'm excited to kind of get that workflow for me together, because I have some ideas in my head of how I can update it to make it a little better for me. But I'd love to hear what you're doing, what you're going to do.
Well, the premise behind the 12-week year, which I'm officially starting on Monday. So it's structured. It has to be structured with like the days of the week and not the days of the months. So I kind of started like a test run on yesterday, November 1st, of like, okay, it's going to take me a while to get into this new rhythm of doing things. But so far it's just, I think that's why I can't sleep, because I'm so excited about it. And that's just my mind. I have good anxiety and bad anxiety that keeps me up, but stuff's getting done. So the premise is just, because you can accomplish based on the system if you do it the right way, right? And it does take some time to really consciously think about like how you're going to apply it to your life and your workflow and all of that. You can accomplish what you can accomplish in a year, but in 12 weeks, and that premise just, it makes me realize that because both of us want to do everything and everything is important, everything, we got to push this, we got to push that. And when we're done with that, we got to move on here. We got to push over here. We got to push over here. It is not sustainable. It's not realistic. You are bound to dip and fall and get, burnt out and overwhelmed and stuff that's just how I've been doing it this entire time. I don't know any other way. But it kind of also is in perfect alignment with what we've been talking about since the summer, which is the top 3. Having 3 goals. That's it. Not 4, not 5, just 3. And to prioritize life and business and everything with, does it fall into the top 3? And so it's really just that, but to the extreme. And I think where the 12-week year kind of closes the loop for me is that I'm not saying no to things. I'm just saying not this year. Not this year. You know, so for Zero to YouTube Hero, for example, this took me forever. It took me forever to decide, like, should I make this a goal to accomplish in my first 12-week year? Because I put so much time, I put so much effort, I put so much money. I mean, I spent so much of 2018 on this thing, and you know, the idea of not working on it broke my heart because it's as if I put my all into this thing and now I just kind of have to walk away, you know, and that made me feel bad. But through the 12-week year, I'm just saying to myself, it's not no, it's just February 1st. You know, it's not like, hey, it's not like you're not going to do it. It's not like you're giving up. It's not like it was all for waste. But it's like in the annualized way of thinking, it just makes everything much more achievable. It's like easier for me as a, you know, mentally to digest, like, hey, it's not no, it's not we're not giving up, but February 1st isn't that far away. Not that
Yeah.
far away, you know? And if I do everything I'm supposed to accomplish in this first 12-week year, I'll be in a much better position to, you know, go back to Zero to Hero and do whatever it is that I want to do with it. I'll be way more like primed, ready. I'll have more money, hopefully, stuff like that. So it's just getting really specific so that you take away the, what should I work on today? What should be the priority today? You know, and I feel like I every week it's just this thing of like, you know, oh my God, I have to work on this. Okay, I just met this person who's like changing my entire thing. And now I got to go over here and now I got to work on this business plan. Now I got to do this. And um, it's like the day was running me. I wasn't running the day. I was not
Yeah.
in control. You know, it's like I just, everything around me, the world around me dictates how I spend my time. And because I've just, you know it's a combination. It's not like a revolutionary thought or anything. But because I've just tabled everything, I've, you know, made that conscious decision to table everything that is not a priority in this first 12-week year to the next 12-week year. It's just so much easier to, like, yesterday I had 230 emails, and in an hour I went down to 50. You know, I've those 200 something emails have been there this whole year, you know, and it's like, because I just saw it differently, all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I felt like I lost 10 pounds, you know. And yesterday I cleaned my office. I had this pile of like business cards and to-do lists and stuff that I never got to. And now that I have this new mentality and approach, I was looking at these to-do lists of things that I have been carrying with me this whole time, feeling stressed and, you know, pulled down by all of it. And I was looking at them like, I can't believe I thought this was a priority. Like, I can't believe I let this stress me out as much as I have been this whole time, because I physically see the pile, you know, and every time I walk into my office, I feel bad that I'm not, you know, getting to inbox 0 or crossing everything off of my to-do list by the end of the day, you know. And if you, with a 12-week year, you have goals and you habitualize them, so that way it takes away you wake up and it's like you look at your to-do list and your tasks and your goals and you figure out what to do that day. It just takes that out. So all you have to do is go through the motions. That's it. It's not, you just commit, you make a commitment to just do what you've already decided to do on day one. And that's it. You don't have to think like, you know, okay, I'll see if I have time by the end of the week. You know, and I downloaded a new app that helps me in the best way, you know, kind of keep track of habitualizing, because I think that's the difference between the other task managers and calendar stuff and like to-do list and stuff like that, is like, if something goes on the to-do list, I have to schedule a due date and like when it's due, and that just throws everything off because I don't know. And again, it's letting the day run me. But now that I know, okay, I have to go to the gym 5 times a week. I don't care when it is in the week. You just have to go 5 times. You figure it out, and that's already decided for you. Then you have to I don't know, post once a day on Facebook. You have to go to 2 nights a week.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
I think it's called productive. Yeah, it's called productive. So it's not like due dates. It's just like it gives you like the allotment of time of when you need to get it done. Obviously, you could do like repetitive daily tasks, but I don't know. Does that make sense? It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I actually have in my digital planner, kind of a similar thing, but it's just, oh, let me zoom out here. It looks like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's that format. Wait, show it again. Sorry, because I started talking.
Yeah, yeah. So I have things that are like bi-weekly or things that are weekly, and it doesn't matter what day I do it, as long as I do it sometime that week, or as long as I do it 2 times that week, and then just tapping it off and knowing that I did do it, just to help me keep track, is just kind of that purpose for that, which is something that I just started doing the second half of this year. I didn't include that in my productivity before, but that being said, I think the integration of that and the pressure that like we tend to feel, because we feel like you said, if you're going to be working out 5 times a week, you just don't know when. You kind of feel like on Monday or Sunday night you have to commit to a certain day, and then when you don't do it, because I think we have that all or nothing mentality.
Yeah.
When you don't do it, you feel this immense sense of guilt, or this feeling like you failed almost by not doing it when you said you were going to do it. And I think that's one of the things that just kind of makes me feel frustrated, that has put me in this point where I feel where I'm like, well, damn, I had 20 things to do today and I only did 5, and I had to postpone everything else. And then in the back of my head, when I click postpone, I just kind
Oh,
of think,
it's
so
heartbreaking.
when? And then you have to like set a day and you're like, I don't know. I just can't get to it right now.
I have to-doist items on there from June that have just like they were due 6 months ago, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know when I'm gonna download my bank statements and put them in Evernote.
Yeah, gosh, I know. It's the same thing for me. I think I have one task that,
Oh, you froze. Or did I freeze?
thinking,
Sorry, you froze. What'd you say?
oh, sorry. I have one recurring task in Todoist that's to reconcile the business bank accounts, especially for the restaurant, because we have like 10 or 20 transactions happening in a in a span of a day or two. And so I set it on the first of every month so that I can just get ahead of it. And I think I've hit postpone every month since January. I don't think I've reconciled any of my accounts, which is so bad, but it's one of those things when I see it and I'm like, well, no,
That's
not happening today.
the 15th for me. And that's why every 15th I have like, it's reconciling. That's straight up what it is. Like download the bank statement, compare da-di-da. And I just haven't done it
Yeah.
since I did my taxes.
Yeah. Nope. I mean, even then, since I've done my taxes, my CPA was like, is it reconciled? I'm like, hold on, I'll do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So like basically that that's my thing for Monday is um my priority one goal is just to get more clients. So I finished my new website. I hit launch like 2 days ago. I can't even remember, but so it's just at sharesparkmedia.com. I just rebuilt the whole thing. I'm working on new business cards, still waiting on my brother to finish that. And you know, everything is just going to be tasked around that. Is just getting more clients. And I feel like, you know, I couldn't have done this earlier because I didn't know what I was offering. But now that, you know, I've had more clients that I could use, that I want to use as like portfolio features. So it's like, you know, this is what I can do for you. This. And I don't think I had that before. So yeah. And you know, the 12-week year emphasizes that's not supposed to be a to-do list. You know, it's not supposed to be the system where um it dictates like your normal day-to-day activities that you should be doing anyway. It's really like it's to the goals that you want to accomplish and that you want to set for yourself to live the life that you want to achieve and that you want to live, you know, and however you define greatness for you, that's what the system is supposed to help you do. And I think that's what I struggle with, because if I don't make time, it's not even making time. It's just like I have to do it this way because that's how my brain works. Like I need to habitualize it. I need to be able to look at something. I like your bullet journal. For me, it's this app, but I need to be able to see like, hey, you have a streak of 7 days, you know, like you haven't missed a day, you've hit every goal. Like I need to visually see that because that feeds into my motivation, which will keep me going. And I know that if I just stick to this, yeah, I'm going to make my, you know, I forgot what the goal was. What did I set my goal as? I think I said $15,000 in new clients.
Okay.
Because my goal is $100,000 for 2019. So I have to get 15,000 by February 1st.
Okay.
So, yeah, everything's going to revolve around that. And just knowing that that's, I think also, you know, going through the business centers, like business planning and all that, that helped me because, hey, ShareSpark creator space, even if I wanted to open that tomorrow, I need capital, you know, like I need to hire people. I can't do it by myself and I need money to do it. I don't have the money right now. So what's the priority? Money. You know, 022 Hero, I uploaded a vlog yesterday talking about customer acquisition costs. It's so frustrating because it takes me forever to get one person to enroll in 022 Hero for $200. And there's no potential for repeat customer because they have lifetime access to the damn thing. You know, so I mean, I've been talking to I talked to a business consultant who was like, why don't you charge an annual membership to the content? If you're constantly updating it, that's a steal for $200, you know? And I don't have time to do that right now. I want to do that next year, you know? And so right now it's just everything is framed around that, and it's making it really easy to say no to things. Like that freaking text I got, that voicemail that I sent you.
Yeah.
Oh, hells to the no, dude. Do not work for free, guys, if you're listening. I mean, if you work for free because you got to build a portfolio, you know, are doing a friend a favor or whatever, like obviously do what you got to do. But please do not devalue yourself.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. There's nothing wrong with starting first or second time. You got to start at least marginalizing yourself in a way that you can build, even if you're not, you know, charging ideally what you'd want. Start charging people for your services or your goods because you deserve it.
Yeah, like totally, dude. So, yeah.
when you're ready for Zero to YouTube Hero, which is in February, I think you said, we'll go back to that, but I have ideas for you. It doesn't mean you have to take it, but I have ideas for you on how you can turn that in multiple avenues. So that'll be in February in the back of your head for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I want to check out your website. I'll check it out later, but
I'm so proud of it. It looks good.
I need to go see it because I need to inspire myself to go do mine because I have not worked on my website, which is I've come to peace with it. I'm just going to the first thing I need to do is take photos.
Oh, that's what Tom and I are doing this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So it's every time like there is even like a chance to do it, but then like I'm cutting it short. I'm like, nah.
Well,
Perfect.
here's my advice to you, because this is what I have had to tell myself every day in preparation for this 12-week year. Because my theme for the year is this, okay? Actually, I have two. First one is consistent execution. That's it. I have spent the last 2.5 years being as creative as possible, being as innovative as possible, and priding myself in that. I don't need to be that right now. Consistent execution. The second thing is done is better than perfect. So, my website, old pictures, dude. They're old. I've reused them 1,000 times for 1,000 different things, but you know what? Done is better than perfect. And even if it's like old pictures, I'm targeting people who haven't been to the website before. So if you have pictures right now that you could just use as placeholders until, like, if that's what's holding you back from building out the website, use placeholder pictures.
And girl, I'm just using it as an excuse, honestly. Let's be real. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just an excuse. Like, I could if I wanted to, but I'm always like, oh, it's because of this. I'm so tired today, or whatever excuse I want to throw out there. Like, it's just all excuses. That's why I feel like yesterday I made a conscious effort, or I made a conscious decision actually that was going to stop, because all it is excuses. And yeah, they might be valid, but it doesn't change the fact that they're excuses. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing, because I don't want you to I don't want you to feel bad about it or discredit yourself. Because I know for me, if I decide that sleeping, playing video games, or whatever is worth my time more than whatever's on my to-do list, and it happens like repeatedly, like this whole website thing has been on here for like 3 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So there's a difference between like you literally just don't have time, or you're not doing it even when you have time. And whenever I find myself doing that, which, I had a huge reminder going through all these old to-do lists that have been sitting here and re-looking at the tasks I had on there, it ended up that, subconsciously, I think that I knew that it really wasn't something I wanted to do. Because if I wanted to do it, I would do it. It's just that simple. If I really believed in it, like, why wouldn't you do it? We are doers,
Right.
but either it's the same with 022 here. There's a reason why on right here, these are all my notes for like how I was supposed to revamp my webinar as the lead magnet. I haven't gotten around to it to this day. And this has just been sitting there. And I know it's because I wasn't clear as to, okay, if I spend a whole day and a half on revamping this new webinar, how is that going to benefit me? Like, how is that going to help me achieve my goals? Because I still have to promote the damn thing. I still have to build up my email list. I still have to is Zero Two to Be Hero even a product that makes sense for the market I'm trying to target? Like there's all these other things that all of a sudden it's it's been number one on the to-do list, but it's not that I don't have time. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it, and I think that maybe, maybe what you're thinking is that because it's a new venture, right? It's about your business coaching. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah. Maybe the dogs are gonna go crazy. Someone's here.
it's okay. Evie,
Sorry.
okay. Well, I'll talk while you're on mute. So for me, I think what it honestly is overwhelm, because I have this mental list in my head of all the things that I want or need to get done to make that new venture start to gain some momentum. And because I'm not writing things down and I'm not mapping out a plan, all of them are just all of the thoughts and the tasks and the projects and the things are starting to pile up in my head. And I have this, I call it like the all or nothing mentality. Like I just feel like if I sit down, I have to finish it, which is not the case, like of course I know that things take time and I have to be patient with myself, yada yada yada, but to me that's like not how my brain works. I just want to sit down and get it all done, which is not realistic. I need to remind myself that every step is like an accomplishment almost. It's a milestone when you hit that step. I don't need to sit down for 12 hours and not eat, not sleep to get something done. It's okay to give it a month or 2 months or 6 months or a year. But my brain doesn't work like that because I always see the end result and I just want to be there already, that I'm willing to compromise my own personal well-being, my time, and all of that. And when I don't list it out and map it out in a way that is realistic, it just overwhelms me to the point where I just want to push it in the corner and like just get to it when I can like dedicate 12 hours to it, which is I'm never going to be able to do that. That's the realistic aspect of it, which is why, like you said, for 3 weeks, none of it is getting done because I just think of it as like, oh my gosh, this is going to take me months to do. And instead of going, okay, then every week do a little bit, for some reason, my natural like way of doing things is to just go, okay, when you have the time to dedicate a week, then you're just going to push it out in a week. But like I said, it doesn't work that way, especially for a big project,
Yeah.
you know?
I completely agree with you because that's how I felt with Zero Two Superhero for so long. For so long. Like it's just been on the to-do list for so long and the weeks will just go by and it ends up coming back to that thing where it's like, what did I even do last week? It's not that I wasn't doing anything. It's just like it's not at the end goal that I'm seeing. So I'm gonna feel, even though I'm working hard and stressing about it, that I'm not accomplishing anything.
Right. I think too, part of it is like the see the way I consider Ninongs is like it's like my day job, Like that's kind of how I see it because I dedicate 40 hours plus working there. And then yes, while I do have a little bit of control over what I'm working on, I'm still at the mercy of customers that walk in. So even if I map out my time and block schedules where I say, okay, well then 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. I'm gonna be a server and I'm gonna work the front of house. And then from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. I'm gonna be in the office. It can throw me for a loop if a bunch of people walk in the door, and then that's where I feel like I've found that the or the block scheduling system didn't work for me the last few weeks, even though I said that I wanted to do it. I just can't, because block would be my quote unquote day job at Nino's, like then I wouldn't have time to get anything done. And that's where I think I realized that I needed to revamp um just my scheduling and the way that I work. And I made that conscious effort today and yesterday. I guess I did start yesterday, to just kind of say, well, um, do what you can. This is the list. Whenever you get to it, it just has to be done sometime today. And if that means that you go home and you have to put in the extra work because you wanted to get it done, then you did, which is why I uploaded my freaking November plan with me at 11:55 p.m. on November 1st, because I've been wanting to I've been sweet, but I didn't edit, I didn't do any of that stuff. And once again, it was like down to the wire. It was quote unquote due in my own brain, and I was like, I need to churn it out. So I did, but that's when, as I was working on it, I was like, okay, this this is where that needs to stop. I need to be more realistic, because I'm putting my own pressure on myself. No one else is putting that pressure on me. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship, but it's my own pressure. So if it's not working for me and it's making me more stressed than anything, I need to change it. And that's why I'm trying to revamp like my organizational to-do list and stuff that I have planned out for like how I'm going.
So the other piece to my 12-week year is a time tracker, because I have mentally just in my head kind of, okay, this is how much time I spend on whatever. With my clients, I actually set the timer on my iPhone. But for everything else, I don't use a timer. I just kind of guesstimate, Tom leaves at this time, and he comes back home at this time, and I was working the whole time, so that's like 8 hours, whatever. And this last business consultant I talked to at the business center, she, was straight up like, here, the beauty of entrepreneurship is you get to decide how long you're going to work, how many days of the week you're going to work, blah-de-da. So she straight up, we did a time budget, which I don't think I've ever done before. So, which I don't think that part was what I needed to do. That made me more conscious of like, okay, here's how much time I have in the week. Now, of all the things on my to-do list and my goals I want to accomplish, is there literally enough time? Yes or no? And if no, was the case, then what am I knocking off? But I straight up downloaded a time tracker, and I wrote down everything, like getting ready, cleaning the house, all of my clients, checking emails, posting on social media, because, I need to be able to visually see straight up how much time things take me, because then that allows me to be like, look, it takes you 4 hours to vlog. That 4 hours, you could have been networking, dude. You could have gotten another client. That's why, like today, I was supposed to go live in my YouTube creator Facebook group. I came home late from another meeting and I didn't sleep last night. So I was like, okay, I can go on, but what is the point of this? Like, what am I trying to accomplish with this group? Well, I created the group for Zero to YouTube Hero. And because I'm tabling that, I don't even know if there's a point to the Facebook group anymore. Now that's a whole hour and a half that I've freed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that like helps, but I just want to be ruthless with this. Like I'm so just ready to start seeing some fruits of the labor, you know? And I know it's not going to happen if I keep just running around feeling stressed over nothing, you know?
Yeah,
So,
seriously. I know. I totally get you. I think that things that is probably the hardest for me. Um, Being able to say no is never hard. As long as I know for sure that I've thought it through, I've weighed out the options. Everything that always gets put on my table is something I always consider. You know, like if I have something, if it sounds great or it could be great, I always consider it. I think that's something that you and I have in common, you know, like we never just kind of go, oh no, absolutely not, without even looking into it and kind of doing our homework. But um, I think the hard thing for me is when you have so much and you have to so many great things and you have to like dial down. That's the hard part. I think there was one week where we were talking about like you kind of go where the money is, you know, and that's the reality of entrepreneurship too. Like you just kind of, like you said, if your 12-week year is focused on getting $15,000 in new clients for this new venture that you're doing that because you saw that um there's an interest for it and that's where the money is. So that's going to be your focus for the next 12 weeks. For me, I need to like ingrain that into my brain, especially lately, because when you're at the point where you were like, I just need money. Like the focus is money right now. Like that's what I need. When that becomes the focus, but you're not because you're just so willing to do whatever to get some income coming in is where also I feel like we as entrepreneurs can slip a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at, because when financials are unstable, you just kind of go, okay, then where can I get the rest, you know, like where can I scramble or come up with whatever I'm missing. And it makes me so it it's so easy for me to like lose sight when now I'm like, okay, well, if I do this, then I do that, and I can do this and I can do that. And then now I have like 15 things on my plate and I'm like, oh crap. I don't have time. And
see,
then I don't
that's
have
the
to
thing.
do
And I'm frustrated. I'm so done with feeling that. And I know that's a choice. Like that's something we willingly take on. No one else puts that on us, you know? And I think it's just, it's just taking your, is this in the top 3 to the absolute furthest it can go, you know? So it's like, okay, vlogging. Does that get me money? You know what I mean? And now that everything has a cost, everything has a cost, a time cost and a financial cost. So again, going back to it takes me 4 hours to edit a vlog. Or I can go out and network and actually meet people, like interact with my potential customers out in the community for 4 hours. You know, I'm pretty confident I can close a new client in that same amount of time. So not that I want
Mhm.
to stop vlogging, but I want to stop stressing about it. You know, that's all it comes down to. It's not that I'm, you know, I'm always going to feel like being a digital content creator, it's hard. It's hard because every day that we don't post content is a day we don't post content, is a day that someone else is posting content, is a day that someone could have interacted with our content and become a fan, a follower, a subscriber, or whatever, you know, and that pressure is always going to be there. So, but the thing is, I don't want it to hold me down anymore. And it's just making that conscious decision of like, I need to stop apologizing every time I upload a vlog and it says I haven't gone around to vlogging because I've been so busy. It's like, who the hell am I talking to? You know? I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm documenting my entrepreneurial journey, the fact is that the vlog is, I finally paused Patreon. Just like, all right,
Nice.
there's a thing I'm not going to freaking worry about this right now. You know, and I think like, I guess like suggesting to you, because I don't know if this is what I'm doing, but I can see how this would make sense. And maybe this is what I need to do, is just like, okay, literally, if your to-do list had 5 items, that's it. There's 5 spaces. You can't fit any more than that. Doesn't matter how important every single thing is. What is your overall goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Because we could do everything. We could work 24/7 and still not feel like everything got done. So like, if my goal, $15,000 in new clients, do those 5 things that I am going to decide what the hell goes on that list. Not anybody else, not because not because I feel like I need to do everything, but for real, let's sit down and be strategic and be like, all right, what 5 things are going to further that goal? Those are the 5 things I'm going to do. If it's 6 p.m. and I'm not done, sorry, then you're going to have to wait till next year, but I'm not going to drive myself crazy anymore. Like, I don't want to lose sleep. I'm pretty sure I'll be more productive anyway. I just want to like take back control. I feel like this is turning into a rant, but I'm just pissed off at my boss, who is me, because she's insane. She's like crazy, expecting me to do all this ish. And it's like, yo, this is literally not possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think with every phase of entrepreneurship, I think it's just how it goes. Like there's a point where you're finally like, enough is enough. I'm putting my foot down. I'm gonna like, this is good. This is just has to stop. And I'm going to do this on my terms. And then there's those moments where I kind of am where I'm like, okay, I need to get back to this. Let's take a pause because there's no one to, as entrepreneurs and business owners also, there's no one to put us in line,
Exactly.
to make us realize that point until we make the revelation that like, okay, we've gone too far. We've strayed too far away from the goal. We lost sight of everything. And that's exactly where I am. And I feel like this month, instead of saying, okay, I'm going to do it this week, like honestly, it's going to take me more time. Like I just have to start like peeling the strings away of the things that are just unnecessary. Try to just focus on just getting things done and being productive in the time window that I have. But the reality of it is I've just got to just be real and say, if you want it done, then do it. If you don't do it, it's not going to get done. And just make your peace with that. But I'm surprised at myself, to be honest, because I'm always very realistic with what I can and can't do now that I'm more experienced. But I think that I've just kind of gone off the rails. I think I posted it recently where all I'm doing is I wake up, I don't open anything. Like I don't open any of my productivity apps anymore until like maybe 2:00 in the afternoon. And my day starts at 6:30 almost every day. So more than half the day is gone and I don't even know what I'm doing. So all I'm doing is just trying to solve a wrap on that day with no direction, with no course, with no plan, with no nothing. And I think that is where I'm like, okay, that's enough. You can't do it because now I'm like sprinting toward nothing. Because
See, like I know exactly how you feel, and as your accountability partner, I just want to remind you that, you know, you're not in the wrong, and to just like not be too hard on yourself, because I mean, it's just been 2018. It's been like a crazy year, but also um because you have a full-time job, because you run 4 businesses, you know what you need to do to break even or hit, the goals that you've set for your businesses, and that is already so much time out of your week. But we know that if you just do what needs to get done, you're never going to grow. You're always going to stay there, and that's fine if you need to do that. But I guess the way that I want to move forward for me is like, okay, I'm not gonna move forward by trying to take on a million things, like, period.
Yeah. Hmm.
So even if that's doing one thing better, because I didn't pick, like, money is a priority, so it's easy to be like 15,000 um in 3 months, but like, vlogging was a thing. I was like, okay, well, I can set a goal to vlog every day, vlog 3 times a week, blah de blah, but I don't know. If I can't answer the question of like, what's my vision? What's my goal? What am I trying to accomplish? To me, my vision is share spark media, like the idea of this movement promoting digital literacy, however it ends up being. I foresee it being this physical space, which is great. Does vlogging help me with that? Doesn't hurt. Sure, it helps, but there's other things. There's other things I can do. And getting money is one of them. That's probably the more important thing, which is why I didn't put the vlogging challenge as a goal. If I get around to it, cool. I mean, I'd like to do it. I will still, it's still very important to me, but it is not something I refuse to let it be something I stress over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if there's something there that you can take, but like, I just
Of
want
course,
to
there
remind
always
you
is.
that. Huh?
So I think this is what I'm going to do for this week. So one of the things is I definitely need to sit down and map everything out. Just simple, plain and simple, just write down all the responsibilities and write down I'm not even going to think about goals for right now, just responsibilities, personal and professional. That way I know bare minimum what is required of me. And I definitely need to have some kind of visual. Whether that means I just need to start opening up like Evernote again in the first thing in the morning or something like that, but I need to have a visual for myself for like my top 3 projects for the week. Like yeah. Because if it's not like right in front of me all the time, that's where I'm like, oh, I haven't had time to open up my phone. I haven't had time to like look at my laptop yet. Customers just started like flooding in the moment we opened or whatever. And then next thing you know, like I said, it's 2:00 and I'm like, oh, oops. Like I don't know. And a lot of times part of like what I wanted to set out to do is to obviously better the restaurant. And I don't work toward those things because it's not in my line of sight all the time. So I need to come up with a visual of some kind, um, so that I just remember, like, at least for a week, what I need to be concerning myself with, you know?
I mean, I think that's what I felt like I did. It's like, okay. But for you, it's, obviously it's different because your stuff is already up and running. So I think like it goes back to that like time budget, and a purpose. I think just having your purpose, because there's the responsibilities that you have to do to maintain what you're already doing, right? And then once you decide or you calculate how much time that takes during the week just to get that done, then at that point you can, you know, calculate how much free time you have on top of that. Then you can decide, like, okay, is it this new website? Is it blogging every day for 30 days? Is it doing business coaching? Like, you know, what can I do with the time I have left that fits in line with my life goal?
Right.
Because like that's what I would just tell myself, like, is you cannot do everything at the same time. Not
Mhm.
can't do it, but if you just focus, I'm an executor. I do so much better. Like that's why I was easy for me. It wasn't easy, but I could crunch out 0 to 2 GPR and actually record it and edit it once I just put my head down and just did it, and that's kind of like what I'm trying to do with this 12-week years. I don't want to think anymore. I just want to do. So if you put concentrated effort into one thing, like both of us know, whatever we actually do ends up being awesome, because that's our minimum, is we blow it out of the water. The thing that holds us back is when we spread ourselves too thin. Then
Right.
everything is just like, it's done, whatever. Here's the result, if I even get there. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get you.
So yeah, I think it's perfect for your like whole, your theme for 2019, your
Yep.
word to
Mhm.
like do this now, and then that way, you know, come January
Exactly.
1st, you're like, bam, let's do this.
Yeah. Which is why I wanna do it now, because knowing me, if I wasn't talking to you about it and, you know, I didn't share it with you or have anyone to share it with, if it was me before, then it would have been December 31st that I would start to do this and then try to churn it out when I could be relaxing
Already
on that day
moving.
because we're going to be closed at work and I could be spending time with family or friends. What I'll be doing instead is trying to do a couple months worth of seed planting in one day, which is what I always do. And that's why I'm like, no, I need to stop. I can't procrastinate. My biggest thing is procrastination. And I think that's why I have gotten to this point, because when I am doing something, it's busy work. It's rarely ever productive work. And I consciously know that when it is productive work, because I have this feeling, compared to just like running around and like doing nonsense, but um that's where I need to like filter it out and like kind of learn to discern the difference, because it's starting to like in my head, it's starting to all meld and mesh to be the same thing. But then clearly when I look back with a little bit more perspective, it's not, and so I just need to, like I said, I'm going to list out all my responsibilities, do it in a visual way so that it's in front of me all the time, and then create a habit and a routine to make sure that is the first thing that I see, and that way I have this sense of knowing as I go by my day. That's what I'm doing this week. That's it. That's it.
Part of my 12-week year is like, I'm not really big into like affirmations. I could see how it's powerful. I'm doing a combination of like, I don't want to come off weird by saying this, but I don't need to tell myself like I am powerful when I wake up. What I need to tell myself is I can and I will do what I want to do that day, and just reminding myself of like, I will do this. By the time it's 6 o'clock or whatever, I will have done this, and just, it's not even like prioritizing the to-do list for the day. It's like just really getting into the mindset of like, I'm going to finish this. Like, I got this, you know?
Mhm.
And yeah. So anyway,
So what's your next week looking like? Any networking, any stuff that you have going on?
oh my God, it's so insane. No, it's not. I'm going to stop saying that. I'm going to stop saying that. So, it's actually not insane. The week after is insane because gearing up for Thanksgiving.
Right.
But yeah, I have my final business plan for the Women's Business Center is due in 2 weeks. So
Okay.
I still have to finish up the classes for that. Going to networking events. Part of my other goal, I haven't decided on what my second goal or my third goal is for my 12-week year, because you're supposed to have 2 or 3. So I have like the $15,000. I have lose 8 pounds. And then the third one, I can't decide. I'm trying to like figure out. I want it to be smart, where it's like measurable, specific, blah, blah, blah. That's why I can't, like, I want to vlog. I want to like build up my following online and create content and stuff, but I still have to come up with a goal. So anyway, I don't know. But
Okay.
I will be creating daily content, uploading daily content on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just those 3 spots, because I wanna say Twitter too, but Twitter is like, I just go on Twitter anyway and tweet anyway.
Yeah.
That's not something I have to, like, think about. I just like being on there. But,
Mhm.
um, that falls in line with, I have all these people in the Coachella Valley that are potential clients that have added me on Facebook. I've met them, and, I used to be so particular, like, "Oh my god, I have to upload it on the HeatherJustCreate Facebook page." Now I just don't even care. It's like, just who are you trying to target? What's the goal? You're not trying to build this huge, like, 100,000 following on Facebook right now. You're trying to get clients. And if your clients are connected to you on your Facebook profile, then post on there, dude.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Oh my god. And then I spent all this time debating, like, do I put the logo in and make sure everyone knows what create? Like, forget it, dude. Just done is better than perfect. Ugh.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let me type this out really quick
I'm
just so I
excited
have
for
it.
you, though. I hope you know that.
Huh?
I'm excited for you. Because I know whenever we feel this way, it's just like it gets harder before you level up, you know?
Yeah. I feel that too. I really feel like last month, especially this last like past week, the end of October was just like the last straw of like me allowing things to just be this way. And I told myself that if I and I think too the way that I speak to myself in my own head is changing, because I was like, if you want this, then you should start now, compared to like being like, hey, it's taking you forever. What's wrong with you? Like, come on, let's get this done. It's more like, okay, well, if you want it, then do it. If you don't, if you don't want it enough, then just continue. It's up to you. That's just how um I've just come to realize it now. And now I'm like, okay, I do want this because I don't want to procrastinate. I don't want to wait until 2019. I want to start, like I said, just planting the seeds, giving myself time so that I'm not like stressed about it anymore, and the only way to do that is first spell out how much time I do have and all the responsibilities that I already have on my plate that I can't let go of,
I
or
think,
I either can't or choosing not to let go of. And then everything else, if there's space, then we'll do it.
and that's the thing, I think, really taking inventory in the same way that you would with money and dollars and products, like needing to take inventory of our most valuable asset by far, which is time.
Yep.
You know, and knowing, all right, where am I spending the minutes? Why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just having the same mentality, because it's like I'm so not paranoid, but so careful with money, so careful with like, I don't need that. I know I don't need that, and I don't I don't spend it. You know, that's not an issue I have, is like money. I don't have an issue with like not being able to control how I spend it. Um, but I don't have that same fervor with my more valuable asset, which is time. So
Yeah. I think I devalue, well, I go back and forth of I devalue my time when it comes to my own things. You know, when it comes to other people, I think I've grown that courage to kind of know my value and know my time. But then when it comes to my own personal projects or things that I need to do to build, that's where I've devalued my own time compared to someone else. You know, it's so weird and so backwards, but yeah, it's the truth.
ditto. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But
Ooh, you
so
gotta go, girl.
yeah, I know I gotta go. So what's your things for next week?
I am going to create my list. It's gonna mostly be um like just a list of responsibilities, professional budget, personal budget. I'm actually gonna write it down. The last time I did it was January. And things have changed. Things are changing. I need to be updating that on a regular basis. So I'm gonna revisit it, change it, update it, and see what realistically my day looks like every single day, because every day is different for me.
Right.
So that, and then after that, I'm going to come up with just a rough plan of how I'm going to tackle those things on a like monthly, weekly, and daily basis. So once I kind of just brainstorm it and just like ugly write things that make sense in my head, then I'm going to come up with the visual of what I need to put um so that my eyes are always on the prize every time I see it. It's probably going to be in my office at work,
Oh,
just right in front of my laptop or something. And it'll probably be like a top 3 of some kind, just to like make sure I remember to do those things, or I remember that those are the goals, whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'm going to do that. And then from that, I'm going to create a routine, because I know you mentioned it. Our personal and professional lives just like meld together. It's like almost one and the same. Just because not even the industries that we're in, but I think nowadays it's just how it is with any small business, period, because social media has made business very personal versus like just surface level professional. Um,
well, I think the problem with us too, specifically with us, is that um, we work at home. So even when you're at home, you're still kind of at work.
mhm,
And our significant others are our business partners.
yeah.
So you're staring at your coworker like 24.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's hard to draw the line because it never physically gets drawn ever.
Mhm. Yeah. It's it's so hard. So I just need to, even if it's not a time frame routine, just a routine in general. And whenever it starts, and whenever it's done. But the routine has to stay in place. Um, I just need to formulate that in a way that gives me a little bit of peace. Um, and also helps me to just remember like what the priorities are. Um, that is going to be my main focus. I mean, I think part of that too is just I did start the 30-day blog challenge again, but
Oh,
honestly, it's just going to be about me going through this part of I think it's a great way for me to spell this out and like get it all on paper and just kind of hash through it, you know?
I love it. I think that's a cool thing to share. Like a very cool, valuable, practical thing that people could learn from, you know?
Yeah. So I'm just going to almost document it, like journal it. And then I'm not even going to like once it's done is probably when I'm going to like piece it together and then create a series like and then post it. But it'll all be just happening behind the scenes. It's not like something I'm going to try and post every single day. I want it to really make sense, not not just for other people, but more so for myself, because I know this is going to happen again. I'm just going to be real. It's going to happen again where I'm going to be like, okay, I got it all figured out now. And then I'm going to lose my way. Something's going to get me lost. Something's going to make me like stray from what I know works. And then I'm going to have to look back at it and be like, okay, what was I doing before that was working? How did I feel? What emotions was I feeling that made me want to go back and be on top of everything and like have a plan together. So it's more so for me to be able to look back on.
Yeah. No, I know that when I am feeling really lost and thinking about like what I was so driven last week. What happened? I go watch old vlogs, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best. It is the best to see, like, for so many reasons, like progress, to see, like, wow, I can't believe I thought that was a big deal. So, um, last thing I wanted to tell you is, I'm finally, I don't know if I told you this, I'm finally going to create a Coachella Valley creators meetup. I want to spearhead this. Like, there is no,
Cool.
you know, and it's not just going to be vloggers, it's all digital content creators. And Tom and I have talked about it since we met, but just like, creating a networking group of creators in the area that can get together, collab, learn from each other, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that is, a good use of time and effort to like for my Share Spark Media vision is like if it grows, then there's the foundation right there, of that community.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When do you
I
when
mean,
do you think of doing it?
I'm gonna make the meetup group today, probably.
Okay.
And then I couldn't decide. See, this is me tripping about the stupid things. Like I could decide whether I wanted to go on Facebook and then make Facebook events, or do I do it on Meetup that costs $10 a month? And um, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna make the group, and then now it's just deciding a time and a date that people could meet.
Right.
So yeah, I'd like to have one of those done by November.
That's cool. I think that's awesome for like your community and just where you guys are at. I think that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I think it'll be cool. But so yeah. We're gonna make stuff happen.
Oh yeah. I mean, we always do.
Yeah, we still got, we'll make it a good 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing for me too is just these last 2 months is I just need to hang in there like financially and um I think like if I have more peace about like what needs to or what I need, then hopefully instead of thinking how little I have, it'll help me work towards something. You know what I mean? because it's easy to see that number and feel like you don't have it. Like the cup is half empty versus half full type of
Yeah,
mentality.
and it sucks. Like because I know I've been there like this entire time, it's like focusing on what I don't have.
Yeah.
And obviously I withdrew my retirement account, so it's not as much like it's not as stressful, but I don't know, it's not a creative, motivating place to be mentally.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing that I never wanted to be either. I mean, like you said, obviously money is a driving factor because it's a necessary evil type of thing, but it I don't want it to be the only driving factor with anything I do. It's just never been something that I was about, It's never always about the money for me. So,
Yeah, same here. I mean, it still isn't, but I just know
mhm.
how to prioritize now.
Yeah.
But all right, dude, I gotta run to a client. So
Yeah, no worries.
have a good week.
Yeah, you too.
Hopefully we'll have
Tell
like
Tom I said hi. I always forget to be like, "Hey, tell him I said hi."
yeah. I know. Same with Charlie, who even like pops into the kitchen.
I know.
But all right. Stay because I have a question to ask you.
Okay. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
If you're watching this, let's do a closing message because I felt like that was a tough one. So what I'm gonna say before I pass it off to Carissa is entrepreneurship, woo, it is hard, but um it's really appreciating the for the price of the freedom and the beauty of what you're able to really push yourself to be able to do for yourself and other people in the world and all of that. uh it's a lot of work to do what would get done for you if you had a job. So you know it I guess like for Chris and I, we're recognizing this. We have recognized it. It's like a, you know, cycles, but always on the up and up. And this is why we meet, because we can keep each other kind of encourage each other and keep each other in check to keep moving forward.
Yeah. Going on that, I just wanted to mention that, like, I think part of the perk of having an accountability partner is like, when things are good, it's great, but then to have someone to just kind of vent to when you just like need to, because things are not going the way that you want or things aren't going as expected, um, is even more awesome. Someone that can relate, someone that gets it, someone that has built a relationship with you personally and professionally and knows you pretty well, so that there's that right balance of the real advice where you kind of need a kick in the butt sometimes, but also that feeling of lifting you up when you feel like you're down. That I think that's the great thing about having an accountability partner, because that being said, there's this stigma that goes with entrepreneurship where people think like, "Oh, you get to work at home. That must be awesome," or whatever it is. But truth be told, I think it's becoming more and more I guess it's becoming less of a stigma now that entrepreneurship isn't as easy as people think. It is hard because with freedom comes burden too. There's pros and cons to everything that you do. And sometimes people forget that just because we're working from home doesn't mean we have a
It's
ton of things
easier.
that we
Yeah.
have to do. I think um, people now know as entrepreneurs, you have to be everything for your business. So you need that advice, you need that community, you need people that you can ask, and you got to go through it. In your own business is different, and there's nothing wrong with just going through the path and the journey your way, you know, um, which I which I think is very, like, the path is very common for everyone. It just depends on when they hit those milestones. I've I think that was my perception with you and I becoming accountability partners. Just because I've been an entrepreneur for, I don't even know how long anymore. And then you starting your journey in the last, what, 3-4 years, we still go through the same things. No one is exempt from the hard stuff. There's still hard decisions that have to be made, whether it's in the beginning or you're in the middle of it, or you're seasoned. It's still, there's always going to be new challenges. And I think that's because also naturally entrepreneurs are just never content. We always strive for more. You mentioned this in today's stream. It's just once you hit a milestone, you kind of are like, awesome, that was great. Okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
So.
it's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I can't imagine. There is no, like, when people are like, what is the end goal? When you can like take your hat off and just like kick back. I don't know what that is. I hope it's not just stopping, like I never want to stop.
People ask me that all the time. They're like, oh, so if you win like a jackpot or you've hit your goal financially and so what are you going to do? Are you going to retire early? And I'm like, I don't think so.
Are you
I mean, that's not why I became an entrepreneur. I mean, yes, I want the freedom and the flexibility, but by just nature, I'm a hard worker. Like you said, we're executors. So if we ever stopped, I think we would feel like our purpose was over, and I would never want that,
When the lottery was like over $1 billion, of course, like we had to go and buy a ticket, just in case.
Yeah.
But straight up, Tom and I was like, look, Tom, we're not freaking telling freaking nobody. Nobody, trust me from experience. We're not telling anybody. Everyone's going to get a gift out of nowhere with no reason. That's it. We're not telling anybody. But it was crazy because we were thinking about, what if? That'd be cool. And everything we wanted to spend money on was like, I'm going to open up ShareSpark Media. I'm going to make a nonprofit. I'm going to give like scholarships and like all. It just was like, it wasn't, because I love our house. It's not like we'd get a bigger one,
Right. I would pay off my house and I would live here.
Yeah.
It's not like a mansion or anything, but I don't need that. Imagine how hard it is to clean. Like, yeah, I would do the exact same thing. I always think about that. And I'm always like, I would invest in this. I would hire a full-time manager for Ninongs. Like, I would never sell it off or close it down. Like, no, like, I can never imagine like getting to a point where like I've had enough money where I'm just going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I look up to like people like Richard Branson or Hugh Hefner or whatever. Like, they really had just this entrepreneurial mentality where like, yeah, you have money, but is that really what it's all about? I mean, it is, but it's not all, there's still like purpose and message and like your own personal goals that go along with it too, but I don't know.
Yep. Speaking from experience from parents who did not know what their goals were when they came into a lot of money out of nowhere.
Right.
But all right, I seriously got to go, dude. So thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. We are here every Friday at 11-ish. I was late today, but 11-ish. I will do a better good job of tweeting. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can check out Carissa's website at justkissa.com. Check out mine at sharesparkmedia.com, et cetera, et cetera. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys later. Have a good weekend. Bye.